enough that most of you have heard about dyslexia. But did you all know what is dyslexia?
3, 2, 1, jump!
Dyslexia is a form of learning disability that causes significant impairment in one's ability to read and spell. This common learning disability can affect to 10 to 15% of primary school children in Malaysia. The experience of dyslexia were designed to make you decode each word. That's why library space were needed every time they read. Today, me and my partner, we are going to discuss about dyslexia, and we have discovered for you 3 documentaries on it. These are the 3 persons from the documentaries that we choose, which is 2 from local countries, Ultimate and Adik Buntat, and the other one is William from international.
Grew up with specific learning disabilities, and it runs elsewhere in my family as well.
Causes of dyslexia are usually linked to genes. That's why this condition often runs in families. Neurodiversity is the idea which explains how dyslexic minds work. All of our brains show difference in function and structure, but the brain can be divided into 2 hemispheres, which is the left hemisphere, generally in charge of language, while the right typically handle unit skill. fMRI studies have found that the brains of those with dyslexia will rely more on the right hemisphere and frontal lobe in the brains, which means when they read a word, it takes a longer trip through their brains and can get delay in the frontal lobe, which make them difficult to read.
3, 2, 1, jump!
Dysleksia ni membaca lah susah. Lagi-lagi kalau perkataan tu ada banyak abjad yang banyak letters yang lebih kurang sama. Macam M dengan N, B dengan D, P dengan Q. Jadi bila perkataan-perkataan yang ada banyak ni, dia akan butuhkan tempat lah.
Yang ketara sekali dia memang dari segi masalah huruf B dengan D dia nampak terbalik, nampak sama. B dengan D lepas tu pakai kasut pun nak terbalik, butang baju pun tak boleh sama kan.
Subjek-subjek yang saya skor tu adalah subjek-subjek yang lebih cenderung kepada pemahaman, bukan kepada yang perlu membaca banyak.
Why did I feel kind of so stupid, and why did I feel so so slow?
The main similarities that we can see in the video just now is they have difficulty to read. This is due to dyslexic having trouble recognizing phoneme. They see reverse letters, numbers, and also words backward. In addition, they also have similarities such as slow learners, especially in subject regarding reading, lack of coordination, and having difficulty understanding the instruction given.
Saya dapat kesan dia masa dia umur 6 tahun.
And they thought for me to have a diagnosis quite late on in primary school. But of course the problem was that the diagnosis doesn't fix everything.
Saya dapat tahu saya dapat dyslexia pada umur saya 28 tahun.
For the differences, first the diagnosis. Alif and William were diagnosed by their parents at 6 years old and 13 years old, while Ultimate was diagnosed at 28 years old by his wife. It is important to diagnose early so the next step can be given to assist them to reduce their problems. Second, their ability. Although having dyslexia, they are also successful in life. As we can see, Alif is an actor, Ultimate is a rapper, and William is a PhD student. If we notice, their success all requires a lot of reading activities, right? So, how can they be successful if they have a hard time reading? The answer is with the help of support system.
3, 2, 1, jump!
In the documentaries, we can see most of the support system were coming from the microsystem, in which means the people who close to the persons. For example, Alif was first diagnosed by his mother while she does her research, while William received support from his family as dyslexia were inherited among his family members so that they have knowledge on it. Same goes to Ultimate. He late diagnosed, but he gained a great support by his wife. Even though we know dyslexia cannot be prevented or cured, but early intervention to address dyslexia is important so that we can help the child to manage and increase their development process. Some of the assists that can be done by parents is they can try to monitor if there's something abnormal with the child reading or spelling, then directly consult with the specialist. Other than that, they also may provide physical exercise such as hiking or jogging in order to activate the frontal lobe of the children's brain. Lastly, healthy food will also important to support learning and help mature working memory, especially food that contain large source of choline.
It is crucial for children attending school to learn, right? So their teachers at school are like their second parent. School play a huge role in helping these dyslexic students. These students need to be separated from the other students because they need a support class known as dyslexia class. This class is taught by a professional teacher who knows how to handle dyslexic students. The teachers is also well trained to have a high level of patience and creativity in imparting knowledge to their students. The students' capacity per class is small, so they will not feel excluded and neglected. The method used by the teacher to teach the student is scaffolding by Vygotsky theory. Scaffolding means changing the level of support. In the beginning phase, the teacher will give full attention to them, teaching letters, words, spelling, and reading. Next, once they have shown improvement, the teacher will observe the student read the others by themselves. Scaffolding function to help the student reach the upper limit of their ZPD, which is can read fluently without needing any assistance. It coincides with what Vygotsky and Piaget say. The teacher is a facilitator and guide, not a director. The advantage of this class is their learning and teaching process will be interspersed with physical activities such as eye and brain exercise to improve the student eye tracking and fluency.
3, 2, 1, jump!
Dyslexia ni membaca lah susah. Lagi-lagi kalau perkataan tu ada banyak abjad yang banyak letters yang lebih kurang sama. Macam M dengan N, B dengan D, P dengan Q. Jadi bila perkataan-perkataan yang ada banyak ni, dia akan butuhkan tempat lah.
Differences, I think throughout my education, I was tainted for someone who was verbally confident, but I struggled to read or write. So when a teacher would say, "Oh, go and then read for the class," or "Go and then write me something on the board," what they were doing is they were kind of shaming me.
Dia tak sampai lagi. Kita cakap air dekat atas meja. Dia tak boleh buat lagi. Dia kena fikir dulu.
Challenge that affect three of them is that they have difficult to read and decode even basic phrases. This makes them hard to score in subject that they need to read. Even some children, where they feel nothing when their name were called to read in front of the class, but for dyslexic person, the tasks were extremely hard for them, and often they get tempted by others because they can't read. Other than that, dyslexic person also slow in getting the instruction to be done. For example, like Alif, where his mother monitor, he has difficulty in comprehends the instruction given. Challenge that people with dyslexia were facing can be related to accent lifespan development journey, where they usually stuck at the stage industry versus inferiority. At this stage, usually child discover knowledge and intellectual skill. If they realize they are different from others and receive too much negative feedback, they start to feel inferior and lose motivation. At this point, support system was so important in order to make them believe in their potential and ability to have bright future like others. Even through these three documentaries, we can see that they accomplished to find their own passion and be successful in their life being.
3, 2, 1, jump!
In conclusion, dyslexia is not a disease. It is a condition a person is born with, or maybe they got it by brain injury. You need to know that people with dyslexia are not stupid or lazy because they work hard to overcome their reading problems. When a child struggles with comprehension, spelling, and writing, it does not mean that the child is intellectually low. It is just a learning disorder. We are human. God created us with flaws, and we are not perfect. So please appreciate others. Do not look down on them and give them the support they deserve. That is all from us. Thank you for your time.